worked with some friends doing homeless ministry down here in Chattanooga, and I never really kind of expected that, and it was kind of just a random happening, but it really changed my kind of views and my vision. And God just did a lot of work in my life and kind of really showed me through that summer, not allowing me to go back to West Africa, that there's a need here, and that there's a need like in my own backyard, and that I can't ignore that. Summer of 2009, I took my first trip to Togo, West Africa, and I had always wanted to go to Africa, and finally the door opened, and so I went. And then fast forward to this past summer, I went back this past summer, and just during my time there, I spent a little bit of time in this small village called Vogon, and it's probably one of like the darkest, most impoverished villages in Togo, and there's just a lot of need there, and so clearly that's just a place that is very heavy on my heart, and so I just kind of always had that in the back of my mind. I was coming home, sitting in the Ghana airport, and I decided to maybe just take a chance on this thing, and I got out my journal and just started writing down ideas of what I would do if I could do this. And then if I could do this, those dreams kind of turned into, well, maybe what if I do this? And eventually, after many months of prayer, it kind of just came together. So this past summer when I got home, homeless ministry was still very heavy on my heart. Some friends of mine and I actually got together and started volunteering at a homeless shelter last year in Rome, where we go to school. And so both of these causes were just really heavy on my heart. And so when I came back from Togo this past summer, I had gotten to spend a lot more time in Vogon, and I just thought there's got to be a way to combine these two passions. And I don't know, it was just this idea that like came to me, and God just put it on my heart, and I kept ignoring it because I was like, I'm a senior, I'm about to graduate, I'm going to grad school, I really don't have time for this. I knew about nonprofits, and I had been involved in, you know, volunteering and giving money and doing stuff like that with some other nonprofits before, and it seemed like the perfect way to really make an impact in both of these areas that were really a burden on my heart. So I kind of just got some girls together, asked them if they would be on a board, and together we just kind of jumped off the high dive and hoped it worked out, and it's been a great journey ever since. The One Hope Project, but we just call it One Hope, are founded on Acts chapter 1 verse 8, and that verse is where Jesus ascends to heaven, and he's talking about going into Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. And so we take that, we are a Christian organization, and so we take that verse to mean for our lives that we are supposed to go into our own backyards and meet the need there, and then spread out to the far edges of the world, which for us would be West Africa. We want to encourage and empower people to make a difference against world poverty, to end world poverty in their own backyard, spread out to the far edges of the earth. We will be doing a homeless dinner here. We call it the Luke Banquet, simply because there is a verse in Luke that talks about when you give a banquet, don't give it for people who can repay you, but do it for the people who can't. And so, long story short about that, how that came about, we just decided, what if we took that literally? What if we just did it? So we will be throwing a banquet here. We are in desperate need of backpacks and volunteers, but we will just have kind of a buffet line of barbecue set up, and then we will have volunteers who will sit at the tables and mingle with the guests, and then as they leave, we hope to have enough backpacks donated, packed with water and non-perishable food items and t-shirts, that we can give every person a backpack as they leave. And the purpose of the banquet is just for these people to come and have a physical need met, to give them some food, and maybe to try to give them a backpack full of stuff that they can use at least for the next couple weeks. And to just spend some time with them and love on them. And that's what makes the difference. You know, you can throw food at people and meet a need and that kind of stuff, but if you don't take the time to get to know them and show them that they matter, and then just love them like Jesus would love, then you haven't done enough. When I was in Vogon, there was a specific day I remember I was carrying buckets of sand on my head from like one spot down to the hospital building so they could use it to like make the bricks, mix it with concrete, make bricks to build the hospital. And that day really was a huge day for me, and that I think was really where it kind of all started to come together. And I knew that these two areas of need were really heavy on my heart. And you know, I really, that's what's so amazing about it, is I can't explain it. Like, it just happened.